All right, looks like we're up. Welcome to the stream. Um, Today I'm going to play around a little bit more on RBedrock, focus on creating void worlds because there's been a request to update my void world script, and I just created some new features to RBedrock, and so I want to cover all that. But before we begin, how are y'all doing? How's your day been? So let's see how this goes. I added a new feature last night to RBedrock. It's a feature that allows players to create worlds. And so that's what I want to kind of show off, is creating a world from scratch, a blank world, and then also voiding it as well. So to start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to install the new RBedrock. So that's going to be DevTools, install GitHub, read a Cartwright /RBedrock. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do Control Enter, and that's going to execute, and it's going to ask me to do some things. So we're not going to upgrade these. We'll do none. So we're not going to upgrade anything. So we're going to install the new updated RBedrock that I did last night. So that'll give us our create worlds function. So I've been doing fine. Just trying to get adjusted to the summer and stuff, and getting things ready to go, and trying to sort of get it to where I can release the first release version of RBedrock. Trying to finish the couple little things and get some tests written for it, and sort of get it up to a level I feel like saying it's a release candidate. Also trying to get some footage recorded for my natural wither killer video, so I'm doing a new one. I know of a whole bunch of spots in the world in which the floor of the bedrock has a natural wither killer. And so I've got those listed. They're like specific ones may not be in your world, but I have like 100 of them. So odds are you will be able to find one of these in your world when I sort of release the list and talk about how I do it. That's what's next for a full video. I just have to get motivated to finish that up and figure out how I'm going to do that video. But I have some footage recorded. And if it sits around long enough, I may just release some of that footage unedited. So we have our Bedrock installed. I'm going to show you how to use it to, say, create a world. Oops. Let's have that installed. I'm going to comment that out since you won't need to run that again. So we'll do library, RBedrock, and library tidyverse. All right, so we got those loaded. So the command that I'm going to use, let me pull it up on help. Help create world. So pull up the help information for it. It's part of help information for everything else. It's new. I don't have everything written out, but we have an example down here. So create world, level name, random seed. And what create world does is is it can create a world at a specific location, or if you don't give it a location, it'll get a random world name or world ID. So if you remember, world IDs are the sort of the directory in which the world sits in. I don't like the way Minecraft creates its directory names. It does a random 64-bit number and then encodes it in base 64, gives it ugly characters and stuff. So I wrote an alternative way to do it. It doesn't actually matter to Bedrock itself. So I have a different set of names that RBedrock will do when it creates random names that I call them the pretty format. They look better, in my opinion. And so create world will pick a random name, make sure it doesn't collide, and then it'll create an empty database. It'll create like a default level.dat, and level.dat, you can optionally customize that with some of the interface. And so that's kind of like what these dots are. So these get parsed as parameters that get used to update the level.dat. So the way to do this, to do it, so the command we're going to do, we're going to use create. So first time, actually, I'm going to run list worlds. So you can see the worlds that I currently have. So if we look up here, you can see like my existing worlds that we have here. And actually, let me actually save this to a variable so we can compare it later. So we'll do worlds 1 is list worlds. So that'll be a vector, a table we can look at, we can pop it up on here, and then we can say let me just show, yeah, so my mouse is being recorded. Okay. And so we can see the world ID, its level name, when it was last opened as the important things. So going back here, we're going to create a world now. Command to do that. So we're going to set it to a variable. So I'll do db path. Is create world. Okay. Then we press enter. Everything will be fine. Like it'd create a world, a completely blank world using like default settings. So it'd be survival. It would have a random seed, that kind of stuff. Trying to get it matched as much as possible, like what kind of the default settings for a world are in the game. But let's say I want to customize it. So in that case, I can do level name is equal to, we'll just call this world test. All right. Let's say if you want to specify the seed, random seed is equal to, chat, give me a number. Tell me what random seed I should use. Two, 3, 5, 7. All right. So we'll use that one. So we're gonna create a random seed, world name, world test, with random seed 2, 3, 5, 7. I'm gonna do Control Enter to execute this. You can see that we get a message out that's success. So it completed it. It created it at this directory on my system. So you can tell I'm using Linux. So my directory, my default Minecraft directory is like this. So now if we list worlds, you now see that we didn't have this before. We now have a world test game. So let me get into Minecraft. Let me move things around a bit. So let me get into Minecraft. It's not gonna, yeah. So I need to exit out of Minecraft. Because one of the problem is when running Minecraft is that if you add a new world to the directory, at least on my system, it doesn't pick it up right away. Okay, let me swap. Actually, there you go. And so, and me going back and forth by closing it out and opening it. So you should be seeing Minecraft now. So I'm gonna go open up. So now you can see we have a world test. Change one setting on this. So then we want to go back to Minecraft. Come on, show me Minecraft. We just lose my Minecraft window. 1 second. Maybe I lost it. Let me exit out. Get it captured again. Why are you unhappy with me, stream software? Somehow you, glad you weren't showing that. There. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna start again. So let's get that set up. You can see that I now have a world test directory down here. You see it's also like really, really tiny. That's because there's nothing there. If I click on it, it's gonna load up. It's going to do the seed, and one of the tricky things is that it's going to recalculate my world starting location, which if I decide to do a little bit of magic of setting what my what the world starting location is in the level data, so that when the world generates, you let Minecraft regenerate the world starting position based on the seed. So my Minecraft sometimes takes a while, but once it's up, we will see what it's looking like. Come on, Minecraft. So this is working its way through. Come on. This is taking a while. Oh, here we go. Yay, we're in. So here we go. I'm in survival. And all this kind of stuff. So we created a world, loaded it. I assume whoever sent me this seed has visited it before, can tell me whether this is what they're used to seeing. I can go out and check settings, see, 2537, world name, world test. And that's how we create a world. So that's how we create a world. So you may be wondering, you know, what are the settings that I can set with this? This is basically anything that is in the level dat. You can update by putting commands there. So to get a list of those, let me take, actually I have db path already. So if I go db path, right here. And so this is the path to the world. As you see, if you're used to looking at the names of this, you will see that the name is different. My random name is different than what Minecraft uses because I don't like their name. So this is a better name. So I'm gonna have a db path. So I'm gonna open up the level dat. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do read level dat. I'm gonna save that to the dat db path. Do control enter. So this is going to load up the level dat from the folder. And parse it. And so this is actually name binary data, MBT data. And to see what values are in it, I'm gonna do names dat. Actually, I can scooch this over now. So these are the possible values in names.dat. Biome override, center maps to origin, difficulty, flat world layers, generator. So we'll be using generator. If you wanted to create like a flat world, you set generator to 2. That kind of stuff that you can all manipulate here. And so the things that, now if you want to know how to set it, you can look at, so like if we want to know, okay, well, what types of values would say spawn mobs take? Do that, I could do dat shift or $sign spawn mobs. So I see that dat spawn mobs is byte, and so it's going to accept basically zeros or ones. I mean, bytes can accept more than that, but they often use bytes in this kind of thing for true or false value. So you can set it to say false when you're creating a world if you don't want to spawn mobs by default. If you, let's see, what would you do? Like if you wanted to set creative, let me see, what's the... So you have difficulty, so you know you'd set that to 0 to 3. See, it's set at 2, which is normal. Where is we want to do survival? Gonna be, I think it's under default something. Maybe under abilities. So this is... I guess it's under game type. Enforce game type is how you'd that shift game type. So it's set to 0. So if I want to do creative, I want to start a creative world, I would do that as 1 when I created a world. Change the difficulty and stuff. So any questions about that? I'll pause here, let you in chat send me questions for that. Any questions? Let me know. Doesn't look like I'm going to get any questions. So I'm going to move on to creating a new script for a void world. Open up a new script. Library, we'll do Tidyverse first. Library RBedrock. Yeah, spawn radius is like one of the settings. When players respawn, they don't always respawn in the same location. Adrian. So Adrian asks, I just see spawn radius in the variables. Yeah, so that's a setting where you can control how far people spread out when they respawn. It's also like spawn X, spawn Y, and spawn Z. If those are set to a specific value, that's like the minimum of an integer, the game will recalculate. I'm not exactly sure how it's implemented. I think my understanding is it adds noise when someone respawns. They don't always respawn in the same location. I imagine it may be useful for I imagine it is useful for when you like may have like a specific marketplace worlds kind of stuff. They may want to spread people out more when they respawn. Vac asks, is it possible to create a full world with the old generation? I do not know. I know that would probably be generator 0. And I don't know how well supported that is now in the game. But someone can always try it out and see what happens to turn it on to generator 0. Generator 0 may also be the limit. You can still create worlds with limited world size, like finite worlds, as well. But I don't know how supported they are versus flat and infinite, because even flat has things that they never implemented. Like if you tried putting in a outpost HSA in a flat world, it'll crash. I mean, technically I haven't tested it in a long time. They may fix that, but I doubt they have. It's nothing they would have a bug report ever on. I even asked them once if they'd ever fixed that, and they were like, since it takes a specific world and you can't really trigger it unless you're using tools. They don't really count that as a flaw, although it's a programming mistake. Like they're missing a test. It's kind of annoying. All right, so it's Tidyverse, RBedrock. So create a void world. We're going to create a new world. Okay, basically an empty world. We gotta do level name. Yeah. Level name. Void make void face. Did my music stop? Let's try this one. Yeah. So this is level name void McVoid face. We'll do it in creative since well, you know, we spawn into a world like this. This is not gonna be fun. Game type 2. And yeah, so we'll do DB path is this. Game type is 2. We need to probably set our spawn X. So let me get this going. Spawn X. We'll do 0. Spawn Y. Whoops. Geez, down here. Spawn X, spawn Y. Right, let's go. Names, dat. To make sure I have them. I'm getting these right. Spawn X, spawn Y, spawn Z. This is usually a big number. This is usually, I think, 2 to the 16? Yeah, let's do the 16. Or 6, 5, 5, 3, 5, well, minus 1. And spawn Z, we'll also set that to 0. This may complain, so we'll make sure these are integers by adding an L suffix to them. Alright, so we're creating a creative world with the level void McVoid face with your spawn X, Y, and Z. I think that's mostly what we need to start with, so we everything makes sense. Alright, so we'll go with that. Just go ahead and create that. So we now have our DB path. Now we're going to open the database. Alright, so then this is an error. Right, it does not, I need to add some code. It does not like the squiggle. Let me do a quick thing in front of this. FS path real. So this will make it, this will take the path that's in DB path, which is pointing to my something in my home directory, and open it up. So this little shortcut for home directory isn't understood by Bedrock DB yet. I forgot to fix that last night. So now we're going to open it up. And so that's the path to our database opened up. Now we got to fill it with fake chunks. So how big? So I'll start with, what do we have? So this is our old void world over here. This is what I'm using as like a guide. So we'll do our grid. So yeah, we'll do the same grid as we had before. We're going to do a grid of 128 chunks on the X and Z. So we have our grid. And then what we need to do is put in information about the biomes and the 2D maps, the height maps, whether the chunk is finished or not, and the chunk version. Those are pretty straightforward. Let me go ahead and open up another script while I'm here. And so this is going to be my... Let me make the... Not in this one. It's in over here. So I did some custom worlds to do the Flatiron stuff. To make sure I get the versions and everything right as I'm filling in chunks. Yeah, 16 for chunk version, finalizations 2 and 2D maps. Okay. So going back and forth with a couple different things. All right, so that's also here. And then, yeah, so we need the biomes. So where did I have my biome data? I think, where did I do my... Yeah, so here's my... Yeah. Oh, they're all the way up here. So now we need... So we have our grid. So what biomes are we going to use in this? So plains, sort of generic plains, nether and end biomes. So we'll do that there. And then we need biome IDs. So we'll convert this. We'll update these. Reset our biomes, convert them to numbers, because this will be useful later. I guess I don't have to convert them to numbers right now. That's what we're going to do. So now, what I need to do is let's see, which one I do first. I'll do chunk versions first. For our overworld. So to do that, I need to do put chunk version values db. I'm gonna do it gx g shift z dimension 0, and so our chunk version is going to be 16. So what this is going to do is it's going to take all the coordinates, so all the coordinates on our X and Z, make sure they're all in the overworld, and then set them all to the value of 16. If I do this, it should not complain. Yay, that worked. And then put finalization values. So those be similar. G shift X, G shift Z, dimension 0 and 2. So finalization, this is a number that the game keeps track of, so it knows where in world generation is the chunk. So the game will produce chunks, but if it realizes all it did was put blocks in, didn't do anything else, it won't save that. And this finalization kind of tells it where it is in... I've created I've created chunks. Someone got close enough that like I've had to like tick things and generate mobs and kind of stuff. So we're gonna sort of tell it that it's all these chunks have been finished being generated. Now we need to put in biomes and height maps. And so do that. We need, if I'm remembering this correctly, put 2D maps values. I think I can do this. G shift X, G shift Z, 0 list, height map. I believe I can just say 0 here. And biome map. I think it's biome map. Let me check my source code real quick. Where are we? Forget that this goes off on me if I jump back and forth. Alright, and then 2D maps. And then trying to see 2D maps. What are the names again? I guess I do have it written in yeah, height map and biome map. We're gonna set biome map to biomes 1. Actually, I think I need to do a list of lists here. List of lists. I need to do a list of lists because the list itself is a single value. And then I have to make a list of it, so put 2D maps data knows to replicate that list, replicate this set for everything. But yeah, put 2D map values, yeah. So we'll see how this goes. I believe this is correct. It may complain. Did not complain. So that's looking good. And so I'm gonna double check what we have. So I'm gonna do keys. Get keys, DB, go 0, 0s. Actually, we'll need to do starts with at 0, 0, 0. So we're gonna get all the keys that are for 0, 0. We're gonna check these out. So we have it right. We have our version, our height maps, and our finalization, if I remember correctly, these keys. So if I do here, get chunk version value, db 0, 0, 0, 0. Oh. To at 16, so that one seems to be correct. Get finalization value 2, that seems to be correct. And get 2D maps value. Biome map is 1, it's 16 by 16. Height map is 0, and it's 16 by 16. So this all did what we wanted it to do. So now I'm going to close the database before I forget and log into the world. So we close that. So this should give us a void overworld. And if I did everything correctly, I should log into it in creative and not instantly fall into the void. Well, I'll probably still instantly fall into the void, but it's not gonna kill me because I'll be in creative. Apparently I'm in adventure mode. That was a mistake on my part. So I'll edit this real quick. Creative. Alright. So now I'm in creative. Void make void face. Press enter. Come on, load. We appear to be in a void world. You don't like my graphics. It does this sometimes. Especially in these void worlds. It'll take a bit for me to load. Just watch the sunrise. I should have added it as the setting coordinates, so I didn't have to look at this. But we have a void world. Time's ticking. Yeah, graphically, it's not happy with me. Try to get out of this so I can close it. Unhappy with me. It's AX grab. Let's see. 9. I'm killing my client because it's unhappy with me. Happens in these void worlds on my system because they are happens in void world on my system because they are like the graphics and stuff doesn't make any sense to the client. So let's try this again. Load it up. Hopefully I will not crash this time. Come on. Can't tell if I'm moving or not. You gonna crash on me again? Yeah, you're unhappy. I don't know if it's running back end stuff because I don't have checksums and it's doing that. So we'll do something else on the next one. Alright, let's kill it again. It doesn't like my client. My client doesn't like the world or where I am in the world, and I'm too impatient to let it recover. All right. There we go. And next, yes, I'm gonna do this. So what are we gonna do next? I'm going to do this again. The new world. Game type needs to be 1. Not adventure, creative. Also, I want to do name stat real quick. I'm looking for show coordinates. True. There. Show coordinates equals true. So that's what so we'll do this again. We'll create a new world. We'll do all this. Show coordinates. Then what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to add some solid blocks actually right at the right on the first chunk. So that'll help me have a place to spawn in on. So then we'll do all this again. Let's source all this. Actually, source. Yeah, so we're gonna run. So create a new world. We filled it in with void chunks. Now what I want to do is we're gonna, easiest thing to do, I think I'm gonna get block, get subchunk, blocks value for 0, 0, 0, and subchunk 0. So we're gonna do this. Look at blocks now. Blocks is null. Right, there's no data for that subchunk. That's why there's no blocks. It's empty because it's air. Correct, so that's not what we want to do. So we're gonna do blocks. We're gonna create an array, Minecraft air, and the dimensions of 16 by 16 by 16. Now we do blocks here. All right, so we do blocks. So we now have a 16 by 16 by 16 of air, and I'm gonna do blocks 1, 1, 1. So this will be actually not 1. We'll do the top one, so we'll be at y equals 16. We're gonna set it to some other block. We'll do Minecraft. Stone. Stone type equals stone. So we'll do that. So when we spawn, we should be spawning in on a single stone block, if I'm doing everything correctly. And then we're gonna put this subchunk do blocks. If we do this correctly, we should spawn in on a block, and it will be less mad at us. So now we're closing the database, and we'll see how this goes. So this 0 here, I didn't explain earlier, that's the subchunk we're in. So this is the lowest subchunk in. So this is for all blocks in this chunk for y between 0 and 15. Let me get back to my Minecraft. See, hopefully when I load this one, it's not gonna get mad at me. Yes, the value for creative is 1. 2 was adventure. 0 is survival. So we'll let this load in, and hopefully it will not complain with me, my client. Boom. All right, see, it's looking better. There we go. Void world. Void overworld. This is not a flat world. You can't see that. So yes, and so now it's happy with me. So I can now exit. So let that do its thing. So basically, that's for the overworld. I'll quickly do the commands for the nether and the end. Real quick. Well, this is, come on. Yeah, it's saving. It's taking a while to save. It sometimes does this, I think, because I don't have the checksums written in. I skipped that, so it's calculating all those checksums as it saves. All right, so that's here. So I'll move this down in our script, and we'll do the same thing here. Oh, actually, I can actually do a for loop here. For the in 1, 2, or 0 to 2. You do a for loop. You on that. All right. So we'll put a for loop in. So let me clean up some of this code. All right. So for loop in. So we're now going to replace this with D, biomes of D plus 1. So this should all allow us to do that. Let me clean up this put values. A little bit. So then we'll do there. That kind of matches up. A little bit cleaner code. So now this here should fill in the values for the rest of the chunks. For the rest of the dimensions. So if you wanted to add custom generation to the other dimension, if you wanted to void out the other dimension. So we'll do that real quick. So Dard asked, you know why Creech Shakes Organized gives you the seed of 1? It has to do with the algorithm that they use to convert a string to a number for the seed. All right, so we'll run this again in this case. So this is stone. Let me do... Okay, so I'm back. Yes, that is correct, Adrian. So now I should get void worlds in all 3 dimensions. So yeah, so I now should get void worlds in all 3 dimensions. So I raised my mic up a bit. Just looking at my levels. Let me down a little bit. E. All right, let's see how that works. Yeah, so now this should give us in all 3 dimensions. And I think I'm going to do... me make sure I get the names right. Minecraft stained glass is, come on, yes, stained glass. I'm gonna change this where I'm gonna make something similar to what's in the picture. Light blue. Color equals. And if this should work, it should give me a full chunk of light blue. And gives me everything in all the dimensions. All right, so I'm gonna run this again. Actually label it this time. 3. That should be done. Closing it just in case. Let's open up Minecraft again. We now have our third one. So this should work. I should spawn in on my I should spawn in at 0, 0 on the edge of a 16 by 16 platform of, come on. Oh, wrong direction. Whee! I made it all Y. Not what I was looking for. Oh well. You get the point. And let me fix that. Let me quit. That'll take a bit to close. Hide that real quick. Alright, that was a mistake, so I made it all the Y's instead of all the X's and Z's. So that gives us our platform now. So we'll run this. You see the command I changed here? I made it where everything at the same X and Z at the 1 and 1 was glass, instead of everything at the height of 15 was glass. So we'll run this again. Close DB. Just in case I close it again. You don't really need to do that. But all right, so where are we doing Minecraft? Minecraft's still saving the previous world. So I want to get back into the other world and not do that. So Dart asks, is it possible to make villagers spawn with a pre 1.14 spawning, not get insta kill when you spawn them? I believe that is a setting, and my guess is if it's possible, it's the it's a setting in the level dat to support pre 1.14, so version 1 villagers, because some marketplace worlds still rely on them, and so they still support that, but that's a setting. So that was, this should be a new Void McVoid phase 3. So let me try this again. Minecraft back. So we have our another Void phase. You do see like the space difference. It's because Minecraft's compressing it a bit more than what I have. It's compacting the database when it closes. That's what takes it a while to close. It's compacting and recompressing everything. I need to see what the default compression that the worlds use. Okay, so now we have our platform here for our world. Let's go to the Nether. We go to the Nether in the end. It's obsidian, and then I need flint and steel. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I did everything correctly, I should be in a void nether. Once it loads. Yep, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, the only way to... So, question is about TPing to dimensions. The only way to get it to work is with ticking areas. And, ticking areas. And then... Come on. It's not... Where am I seeing? There we go. Oh, I'm still in the portal. That's why it's not. So yeah, so look. So we have our void nether. We teleported into. Now we're back to our overworld. So let me see. Let me get void end. Still have enough room. 2, 3. Alright. Head to the end and see if it gives me what we need. Guess y'all haven't been getting game audio, because I guess when I go in and out, it's been disconnecting, so you haven't been getting it. I'm just gonna do it now. There. So now we have our void. End. Although I'm surprised that nothing's regenerated. Usually, columns and stuff have regenerated. Here, oh, no, that's my far distance. Oh, there we go. Took me a bit for it to do it. So here we go. I guess I need to kill the Ender Dragon. Ah, cheats aren't enabled. Fine. There we go. Hurry up and give me the egg. I won the game! Yeah. So, we're back to our little void thing. Yeah, so that's creating void worlds. And yeah, so any questions? I don't think I'll have time today to show how to make a grid for like creative worlds. Do like a spawn chunk grid or something. I don't think I have the time to do that today. But that is the code to do it. And so when I'm done here, I'll post this code on my Discord. So if you need to go look at it to recreate to do this, go to the RBedrock channel in about 10 minutes, and you can grab a copy of it. Here we go. So yes, let me go ahead and save it while I'm at it. Save as. We'll save that as our sort of example. Let me move a couple things up that are important to move up. Yep, so 31 lines to create a void world in all 3 dimensions with you know, all the sort of settings you want. All right, so there are no questions. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. If you have any more questions for me and didn't answer on the stream, feel free to ask in the comments of this live stream, or ask in the descriptions of, or ask in my Discord, I want to say. All right, cheers.